guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do episode 4. Is it really episode 4? Yeah, it's episode 4. Wow, we're really trucking along. Okay, so of my makeup artist series. So I wanted to concentrate today quickly on like kind of the business aspects of it a little bit. I mean, I could go into like a really long video of it, but I just want to touch on the important things that you really should be aware of when you are starting your own business as a freelance makeup artist. So I'm going to concentrate a lot on contracts and tell you how I keep up with like expenses and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing you want to do when you are building your business is to get a tax ID number, or an EIN number. And that's really easy to do. You can do it online. Just Google, your state website for how to do that. But you do want to make sure you get that. So that's the very first thing I recommend doing. Once you've figured out a name, get a logo, get some business cards. It doesn't have to be anything hugely fancy. You just do what you're comfortable with. My company name is Project Face. I think I mentioned this before. I don't want it to be Makeup by Mandy or anything like that, because one day, it would be really nice to have people working for me. And you never know, and I don't want to leave them out. I don't want it to be like, ooh, Makeup by Mandy, when really they're doing just as much work as I'll be doing. So I just didn't want to do that. I just want to start off with a completely neutral name. And so I chose Project Face. I did a logo. Actually, my husband did a logo. And if you can see right here, so it's got the P and the F for Project Face, and then it's got the makeup brush in the middle of it. And then the F is like a turquoisey teal color. So he did that for me. I really like it. And so I have this on top of it's kind of like my letterhead. Obviously it's on my business card. It's on top of all of my documents that I have related to Project Face. So if someone calls me or emails me and says, I'm interested in bridal work, okay? Which is what these are all bridal contracts. I have event contracts. They're exactly the same thing. They're just worded a little bit differently. So we're just going to concentrate on bridal, but know that it covers all bases. And they say, I'm interested in booking you for my wedding. Can you let me know your availability, your prices, stuff like that? So I have kind of like a stock email that I'll respond. I tell them all my prices. I tell them my different services. And I also tell them that in order to secure their date, I must have a signed contract and a deposit. So that's where the contract comes in. I got my contract. You can most definitely do your own contract. Get on your word processor, type something out yourself. That's fine. I got on Etsy and I searched freelance makeup artist contracts. And it's called Freelance Templates is the name of the company, came up. And it's awesome because they send you the PDF. You can edit it, so you can put your own name in it. You can put your own deposit amount. You can put your own traveling amount, all that kind of stuff, and make it your own. And then you've got your set contracts. You can add your logo to it. So that's what I did. It was like $15 and well worth it, because I just made sure it had everything that I wanted in there. And I put my logo, and the only thing is you will have this little thing down here that says Freelance Templates, 2012 Freelance Templates, all right, reserved, that kind of stuff, but it doesn't bother me. The real big logo is mine, and that's what matters. So when I send them over a contract, the reason I say I have to have a signed contract and a deposit is because I don't want them flaking out on me and me telling somebody else, no, I'm already booked that day, and losing a potential customer. So that is what I feel comfortable doing. So if they take 3 weeks to get me a contract and they're not being real serious about it, I will email, if somebody else emails me and wants that date, I will email the original person and let them know. And I give them the option of paying over a credit card within 24 hours or they will lose that date. That may sound harsh, but you get burned so often in this business that you have to make sure you cover yourself. And there is no reason for you to miss business that's actually going to pay you over business that's going to flake out. So that is just that's my safety net. Okay, so if they say, yes, I want a contract, this is what I send over. There's 3 different pieces to a bridal contract, and it includes a bridal trial portion. So this is assuming they want a trial. I have only had one bride that says they don't. Most brides want a trial. So the first page, and I'm going to just go over this quickly. Bridal makeup contract has a place where you can put the date, the name of the client, email, phone number, best form of communication. I let them fill all this out because even though I know their email, they've been emailing me, I want them to give me their best email to get them at. You know, it might be a work email they originally emailed me on. They don't want that to be the email, so I just let them fill all this out. Wedding day details, the date of the wedding, the location of the wedding, the room number, ceremony start time, the wedding planner. That's really important because the day of, you are not going to want to communicate with the bride before you show up. She has enough on her mind, so you want the wedding planner's name and number. And what time the bride will need to have their hair and makeup completed. That's also very important. The second page is basically them to fill out who all they want to have their makeup done. So they're going to write their mom's name. They're going to write the bridesmaid's name. This is for me to use the day of, to where it gets crazy on a wedding day. And if they're all trying to get ready and I'm saying, all right, I need Angela. I've got her next. Who's Angela? Me. Okay, come down and sit in my chair. That way I don't have to ask the bride, who's next? Who else is getting their makeup done? So this is really good. It says start time, and that obviously, you know, all that stuff is subject to change on a wedding day. So, all right, and then we get into the actual contract portion. And this is just saying this contract is entered on. You put the date in between myself and whoever the client is. It goes over things like bookings, telling them in order to secure your date, I require a 50% deposit. The remainder of the deposit is due 7 days before the event. Now, most makeup artists that I've come across get the balance the day of. There is too much going on to stress the bride out, to stress the wedding planner out, to stress this person out, to stress that person out, to pay me the day of. No. And I don't want to end up leaving without my check. And them saying, oh, I didn't bring my checkbook. Can I send it in the mail? No. I mean, no. I need my money. I came and did my service. Like, this is not meaning to sound mean, but this is your job. This is your livelihood. So in order to secure that, I say that the balance is due 7 days before the event. And in all, it takes stress over everybody involved. Or off of everybody involved. Payment, again, telling it's due 1 week before the event. Travel and parking fee. This is how I do travel fees. I will give you 40 miles round trip for my client, you, whoever. You have 40 miles round trip free. If I am going somewhere past that, then you're going to pay 50 cents per mile for a travel fee. To me, that is more than fair. The federal rate for mileage is 57 cents per mile. So I'm giving you a little break that way, but I have to compensate myself for time of travel, not just for gas, but if I'm taking an hour to get somewhere and not making money, just making money for the bride and then coming back and I've spent 3 hours somewhere, if I just have the bride and I'm only making what I made to do her makeup, it just doesn't add up. You have to be paid for your time as well as your service. So don't forget that. So that does add up to a travel fee, and people are paying for your service. They are paying for you to come to them. So they understand that, and if they don't understand that, well, then it just wasn't a match. I had someone call last week, and I actually booked her, and she asked if I will drive to Kentucky, and I was like, well, sure, I'll drive to Kentucky, but it's going to be probably, I think it ended up being like $100 travel fee. She's like, okay. So it's, you know, if they understand that you need to get paid, and if they don't, again, it just might not be a good fit. So that's the travel fee. Also, it states that if there is a parking fee, that it will be paid by the client and not me. Valet parking is very expensive when you go to hotels and venues, so keep that in mind. Booking times, it goes over liability, talking about how all of my products and brushes are sanitized and kept clean between every makeup application. So basically, it says clients agree to release the makeup artist, its owners, and all employees and agents from the liability for any skin complications due to allergic reactions. I do ask if you're allergic to anything before I put anything on your face. If I'm confident that none of my items have that ingredient in them and you still have an allergic reaction, this just covers me from being liable for it. Double booking clause, satisfaction guarantee, cancellation, contact info. These are just things that, you know, you really have to make sure you're covered for. Use of images. That's really important. I have, once you sign this contract, full use of my images that I take of you for your before and afters. So when you sign this contract, if I are to post your image on social media, my website, anything, you cannot come back to me and say I did not have a right to do that, because you have signed that right away for my use of images. To me, that's very important, because images are what get you business in this career field. So this is the bridal trial form. If they do decide to have the trial, it basically just goes over the same thing, you know, phone number, address, and then it just gives the date of the consultation, the start time of the consultation, and their desired end time, as well as any skin conditions, allergies, or product sensitivities. And then back here on the back is a quick checklist to see if they want airbrush or traditional makeup. And then it kind of, what is your ideal personal style of makeup? Simple, classic, romantic, glamorous, other. I still ask for them to send me pictures. I think it's very important that they do that. I want to make sure I'm on the same page as they are. And for them to tell me they want a smoky eye and not show me an example of their smoky eye is leaving it up to a whole lot of interpretation, because my smoky eye might be completely different from theirs. So do always ask for pictures if they have ideas. With Pinterest now, I mean, there's no reason they can't send you 20 in like 15 minutes. So that shouldn't be an issue. All right, and lastly, I have my payment form. Basically, I just list the service that they're getting. I list the amount, the total, the 50% deposit that's due, and then the remainder due on. I put that date, whatever it is, a week before the event. And then I do give them the option of paying with credit card, but I do charge a 3% processing fee. Whenever you do use Square or PayPal or whatever, they take money out of your account, so don't lose that money. Charge that processing fee. Because, you know, it adds up. When you're doing a very large bridal party, 3% could be a very nice chunk of change. So just keep that in mind. And then additional notes, if they just pay the deposit, if they paid the full amount, whatever. Okay, so this is what I email them. I scan it into my computer after I put in my information. I email it to them, and they mail it back to me with a deposit check. Once I get that back, I will take the contract and I will take the check, and I keep a check. I deposit my checks on my phone. I have like an app that does it. So I keep all of my checks with all of my other payments in my filing system. I have a Rolodex, like a big Rolodex folder separated into months. I will put that contract in whatever month their booking is for, so I know where to find it. And then I put in my planner a week beforehand. So, you know, Ashley Jones's deposit is due a week before. That way I know. That way I know if I don't get it a day after that's written in my planner, I will send an email saying your deposit is now due, or not your deposit, the remainder of your balance is now due. I'm so looking forward to our event. And I'm also confirming the event in the next week in that same email. Along with that contract, I go to Google Maps on my computer and I put in my start location, and I put in the location of the venue, and I will print off that map, at least the direction portion, because I want to highlight how many miles I'm driving. I put that with the contract. Even though I'm using my phone maps app, I put that with my contract, because when taxes come along, I want to be able to write off that mileage. So it's a lot easier when you can just pull out all your contracts and go through and add up that mileage than having to go back. So it's just something I've trained myself to do with every contract. And finally, please don't forget to request a review from your clients. It's very important, especially if you're on something like Wedding Wire. They have a review collector, which is very convenient. And you just go in and you put in their email, and you can do a stock email, you know, you can do like a template, I guess is the word I'm trying to think of, and ask them for a review of your services, because reviews mean a lot. And it's really nice to be able to send future clients to a specific site to have all your reviews in place. So don't forget to do that. Give the bride, if it's a bride, give them a couple weeks. Let them go on their honeymoon, let them come home and get settled. So write that on your calendar as well. When I book something, I go into my planner, I do the deposit or the balance due date, and then a couple weeks later I'll write Ashley Jones's review request. So I know to remind myself to go in and request a review from her. So hopefully that went over some things that, you know, maybe needed answered. I don't know. It's things that I have had to learn on the way along the way. So, all right, I don't know, taxes, that's a whole nother thing. Y'all are just going to have to, like, kind of figure the tax out thing by yourself. Just know to always keep, I have a separate Rolodex file, just like for my contracts, for my receipts. So every time I buy something for my kit, every time I park, every time I go to a bridal show event to kind of check out what other people are doing, every time I pay for wedding wire, every time, you know, all of that goes into, I stick that receipt into the month, and that way when taxes come, it's very easy to add everything up. So again, hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and as always, thank you for watching, and have a very blessed day.